No, he's fine. Yeah, hold it on the rail for me. Hold it on the rail for me, yeah.
Hit it up, Mark. Come on, you pull.
Holy.
Falling.
Good, it's good. Go.
Watch that.
Hey, good morning, guys. Captain Greg with the Aztec here, doing a tackle recommendation for the day. Right now, we're currently on a drift. We just had a drift for about 30, 15 to 20 pounders. On the drift, we're fishing number 2 Mustad J hooks, 20-pound fluorocarbon on the drift. Got a nice Daiwa setup here. We're just going to change our baits out every 60 seconds, butt hook baits. When we first stopped, we were fishing 25-pound, not having a hard time getting a bite. But after we get into a drift, things kind of settle down. We have to go down in line class, down in hook size. When we first stopped, we were fishing 25-pound fluoro, number 2 muchus, because there is a mix of fish out here. We don't know what we're going to get into next, but that's what we're doing right now. Catch you next time. Thanks, guys.
We are out here on the El Dorado this morning, and the first fish of the day was this beautiful 100-pound fish. And who caught it?
Me,
What's your name?
Anthony,
And how much do you weigh?
65.
Oh, this fish is bigger than him. He caught this on a beautiful Mustad rip roller. And that's Stumpy holding the fish up. And look at that beautiful fish. His first fish on the boat, his first fish ever. Are you happy? You excited? All right, let's go get another one.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Surfside, California. I'm standing in the eye of Tropical Storm Hilary as she's just making her presence felt here in this part of Southern California. We're right between Seal Beach and Huntington Beach to give you a little bit of the geography. And there's a light rain falling, not much wind. Surfers are out enjoying a big south swell that's starting to manifest itself and will get bigger in coming days. San Diego's already felt the effect, and in the Baja area, we've seen everything from not much to devastation, especially in areas like Santa Rosalia and other areas with poor infrastructure. They are really having a tough time. And Friedman Adventures is already mobilizing. We've already started to put together some clothing and other things that we will ship across the border in the coming weeks. You are a big part of that. We thank you for what you did for the island of Cedros. They took a hit from this also. We'll be getting reports in from Cedros here, but they got quite a bit of rain and wind out of this. As this storm moves up to our area, however, it will lose strength because these kinds of storms, hurricanes, gain their force, their strength from warm water. And up in this neck of the woods, relatively speaking, this water is not warm enough to really keep those winds churning at an elevated velocity. However, there's a lot of rain with this, and some of our desert regions in Southern California, in Nevada and Arizona are definitely going to feel the effects of this storm. Hey, you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Delicious. Hey, it is great to be with you. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do the report from the beach here this morning because of the rain, but we got a little break in it, and here I am, and there is a lot going on. You could see on the lead-in, there is something already starting to occur. We thought about it out loud with you yesterday. Will this storm change our bite? Will it change the oceanography? Will it flush more warm water and warm water species up here? And we saw it yesterday. I'm going to get into that with you in just a moment. Things are looking so good for an awesome late summer bite. It's going to be great in the fall bite. I think it's going to be mind-boggling. And the thing is, that smorgasbord, that variety, it's already here. There was some outstanding fishing going on. You saw some of those big fish. Maui on board the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Speaking of Maui, we had a fundraiser to send stuff down to Mexico. He was first to help out. He's an awesome guy. So good to see him catch that giant fish. Vagabond with a big fish. TJ reporting from the El Dorado, that young man with an extraordinary catch. There's a lot of big fish around, and we're going to get into that and lots more with you. Just to reiterate, however, Santa Rosalia and some other areas of Baja are really taking a hit from this storm. Once again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the folks in Mexico. We'll be helping out in the coming days and weeks. No question about that. All right, let's talk about Ensenada area. They took a little bit of a hit. There's been some great mixed bag fishing, barracuda, bass, bonita, all that kind of stuff. They're out of Ensenada, but man, look out, because here come the exotics. A lot of yellowfin flushed in there. There's more bluefin starting to bite for those guys out of Ensenada. When this storm goes through, they're going to be offshore. They're going to be catching out a lot more Dorado. It really looks outstanding down off Ensenada. Now, let's catch up to San Diego. Normally I start, well, I could start anywhere, but I'm excited about what went on the full day boats yesterday. Mission Bell, Sean Hardigan said, outstanding fishing, yellowfin, Dorado, and so much more. Point Loma, same kind of a thing. But man, I tell you, it is so good to see, I think, probably the effects of Tropical Storm Hilary, now downgraded. It's starting to flush in all these exotic. San Diego, limits of bluefin tuna. Now, they're out of C4 sport fishing. For those of you around the world who are watching our show, they leave in the morning and they come back in the evening. So it's a full day trip, is what we call that. Limits of bluefin, 42 yellowfin tuna, a Dorado to go along with it. Wow, tremendous fishing there. The Grande with 30 anglers yesterday, 34 bluefin, 21 yellowfin, one flathead to go along with that. The Sea Watch, limits of Dorado, lots of flatheads on board there, 13 yellowtail, 31 yellowfin tuna. We are certainly seeing those species that you would associate with a tropical storm like this pushing up the Baja Peninsula, moving more warm water into our area, and of course, along with that warm water, the kind of species that you might anticipate might get flushed in here. Dorado, yellowfin tuna, and other kinds of stuff like that. And we're going to see some extraordinary marlin fishing here in SoCal this year as more surfers are coming down to enjoy the benefits of this tropical storm. It's a great morning to be down here on the beach. So we are seeing some really great fishing going on. Now, Captain Greg on the Aztec had some tackle tips for you all when he came in, and he was talking about dropping down to the lighter line. He is so right. When you can't get a bite, you drop down. I don't care if it's calico bass or yellowfin tuna or what it is. Drop that fluorocarbon down. www.opsonusa.com. At the same time, you saw those great big fish. So your observational skills better be top notch. Talking to crew members, making a friend, gotta be top notch. Changing that bait as we harp on here every single day. Captain Greg saying the same thing. You got to know when to go to the 20 pound and when to go to the 100 pound. You've got to pay attention. You don't want to hook a 100+ pound bluefin on 20 pound or you are going to be screwed. I will tell you that right now. So keep that in mind as sirens are blaring here as Tropical Storm Hilary makes her appearance here in SoCal. I can hear sirens down the beach. We'll see. Incidentally, a boat sank. Don't have all the details there off Bolsa Chica here in Huntington Beach yesterday. There was a sheen you could see from the oil or fuel or gasoline or whatever it was, but I think it was unrelated. In fact, I know it was unrelated to this storm. Pacific Dawn on a overnight trip, all right? 81 yellowfin tuna, 23 bluefin, 38 Dorado, 37 yellowtail. I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better than that. So really great fishing going on right now. We cannot really hold back our excitement about what is going to happen once this storm blows through and guys get out there again. Look out. It's going to be fun kelp patty fishing. It's going to be fun on the yellowfin tuna, the Dorado, and all those tropical species. Hang on, everybody. It's going to get really exciting as if it hasn't been already because Tanner Bank continues. It's going to get real windy out there, so I don't think anybody's going to hang in there in a tropical storm, but you never know. Those long-range boys are kind of used to this kind of stuff. There's been phenomenal fishing. We just had a trip on board the Horizon, and so many of you were on board that one. Thanks for being there. Thanks for creating memories that will last me a lifetime. And that video, I go back and watch it and I just look at the smiles and all the mini stories that were on that trip. Anyway, back to that neck of the woods. There's a biomass of bluefin out there that is absolutely incredible. So there's some really big fish at night. You're going to be fishing 200-pound leaders, 130-pound spectra. You want the metered line so you know the depth of your lure. That is so important. Iser line makes that colored line that changes color every 100 feet. So important when the captain says drop to a particular depth. that you do just that. And there's not only those big ones, but there's some 5-pounders out there, there's some 40-pounders, there's some 80-pounders. The mix in terms of size is extraordinary, and that's when you got to be adept at observing and really paying attention so you can change your tackle up if you have to do it. 300 to 400 gram jigs at night have been working really, really well. In my humble opinion, color doesn't matter that much. Other guys will tell you that color matters a lot. I'll let you make the decision on that. I think it's most important that you get your jig down in front of the nose of one of those big bluefin, and they are more than likely to bite it. I think your hook and your connections and all of that are way more important. Great fishing on Tanner. We'll see what happens after this storm blows through. We'll see what the water temps do. My suspicion is that that's just going to keep biting right on through the end of the year. I just seems like it's been like that for several years now. I don't see any reason why that's going to change. Really excellent fishing out there in that neck of the woods. We'll take you now, and by the way, I've been getting a lot of questions from people around the world who are listening. They want to know, well, where do I need to get on a boat to fish Tannerbank? San Diego up to the Channel Islands on a 2-day trip, they can all reach Tanner, okay? So from San Diego all the way up. And there are boats here in the LA Orange County area. You saw the Amigo with Maui. What a score for them. The Thunderbird, Davies Lock in Newport Beach with some real grandes, big bluefin tuna. And there are several other boats from Dana War Sportfishing, from Davies Locker, from Pierpoint Landing in Long Beach. So all of those landings, okay? You do a Google search on the landings in SoCal, they can all reach that fish, and it has been extraordinary fishing. The islands, as the rain is starting to come down a little bit harder, the islands have been outstanding. Todos Santos off Ensenada, we see really good barracuda bass fishing going on. Coronado Islands, there's been some bluefin around that area. There's been good yellowtail fishing, calico bass in that neck of the woods also. And then we get you up here to San Clemente Island. There's pretty good yellowtail fishing. At times you got to fight the sea lions. Some great calico bass fishing. Catalina, some yellowtail out there. Gale Forster, the Triton, one of those two guys, had some yellows and good calico fishing out there yesterday. Not bad, nothing to scoff at for sure. And then we get you up to the Channel Islands. We haven't had that big hit on white sea bass or halibut recently, probably about a week ago when we had that really big hit on the Mirage, and other guys up there right now falling back on the rockfish, and it's been quite good. Along the coast, we've seen one of the most extraordinary years for calico bass that we've seen in a long time. And while that has come down a little bit in San Diego, it's still quite good for the 1/2 and 3/4 day boats that are fishing down there up around Dana. We see some good fishing, Dana Point, Dana War Sport fishing. We see some good fishing for the boats from Newport up to Marina del Rey. Well, really up to San Pedro when it's really, really good, because they've been fishing this area, which is not too far from here. It's called the Horseshoe Kelp. There's Iser's Reef, which is an artificial reef that a guy named Russ Iser went to great pains to create. There's also some other areas, Huntington Flats, and it's been really, really good. City of Long Beach yesterday, limits of sand bass enterprise, 165 sand bass. That's not enough good eating fish for you. They piled on 220 sculpin, native sun, 22nd Street Landing. Spectacular fishing for the native sun all year long, and yesterday was no exception. Great bass fishing for them. It has been an outstanding year. Mostly reverse dropper loop. Don't know how to tie that particular rig. Talk to a crew member, they'll help you out. But reverse dropper loop has been outstanding. It's a great way to get the job done. A good hot anchovy, and drop that fluorocarbon down. 12, 15 pound, you'll get bit all day long. Marina del Rey and Redondo, they're catching some bass up there also, but they've been relying heavily on the rockfish. And then up there in Santa Barbara, Coral Sea with 10 lings, limits of rock cut in the local areas up there. We continue to see some pretty good fishing on bass, a little bit of barracuda still hanging out, but mostly the sand and calico bass or boats like the Island Spirit. And if that doesn't bite, they can fall back on rockfish. Island Spirit is out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. So some really good fishing there. Along our coastline, we continue to see excellent fishing going on. I mean, it's been good on the Corvina. There's been great Corvina fishing. There's been some nice halibut. Patrick, my son, lost a big one the other day that literally jumped out of the water. There's good yellowfin croaker, spotfin croaker biting on bait. Spot fin are fun to catch, but they like to buy bait. And your surf fishing headquarters is located a stone's throw from me down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They're open early. They've got all your bait for you. They're your surf fishing headquarters, no question about that. Now, we have an Apollo trip coming up. I think there's a few spots available. I'm going to look at the books today. But if you want to get on it, it's departing September 7th out of C4 Sport Fishing. It's a one-day overnight trip. And man, this kind of fishing right now is perfect for it. Then we have two-day trips on the Amigo. If you want to get on the waiting list or you want more information, send me a text right now. And that is 657-227-6459. Don't screw it up. We have very few, if any, spots available. I got to look at the books today. 657-227-6459 if you'd like to join us on any of those trips. Also have a September 15th trip on the El Patron out of beautiful 22nd Street Landing. That one is almost, all those trips are almost all full. I kept a few spots available. So if you'd like to get on the waiting list or get on the trip, send me a text ASAP and we'll get you on one of those great trips. We just had a great one on board the Horizon. Looking forward to a great finish to the year. And I can't wait to see you on one of those. All right, this rain's starting to fall a little bit heavier here. Surfers are having fun behind me. Not too big of a swell quite yet, but that will start to build as we go along. It's been a storm that has wreaked havoc on some areas in Baja, and then other areas were missed. That's the way these things work, and we have yet to feel the full effects here in SoCal. We'll see what happens in our desert regions, especially. Here, I don't anticipate much. There's a berm that's been built up, and there's been all kinds of talk about the devastation we're going to experience here in Surfside and Seal Beach, but I don't think so. Could be wrong, though. You're not talking to a real expert in meteorology. You're just talking to a guy who's been walking around this planet for 65 years. So we'll see what happens. All right, my friends, great fishing going on. Of course, we're taking a break here today, but I anticipate some fireworks, some excitement, some great stuff. I love what's going on locally there in San Diego. When I'm talking locally, I'm talking in that 50-mile range for the most part. That's looking really, really exciting. We'll keep our eyes on that. I'll be back with some storm updates later today if we have to do that. The rain's starting to fall a little bit heavier now. I'll keep you in touch with all the very latest, and I can't thank you enough for being here with me every single morning. Have a great Sunday. Take good care of yourselves, and I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.